We are doing a review over exponent rules and function notation using the calculator. So those skills are A11B and A12B. So that's number 1, 25, 38, and 51. So count up how many you got correct. And that way it kind of gives you an idea of how you're doing on these types of problems. Okay, so let's look at our review sheet. I do want to remind y'all that we have done problems like this and we followed the exponent rules. So you are welcome to do it with exponent rules. But what I want to show you today is how to check your answer or how to find your answer using the calculator function that is store. Okay. So the instructions say when you have one or more variable, you can store numbers from each variable in your calculator. Type the number, then store, and then the letter. So put a little box around STO for store. That way you know that that is a button on the calculator. So look right where on is, right above on is STO for store. So what we are going to do is we're going to store different numbers for variables and see if we can match answers. Okay, so I want you to write that down. Assign each variable a number. It's like saying X is 2 or Y is 3 or P is 9, whatever it is. We're going to assign each variable a number in the calculator and find out what the expression would equal given that those variables are those numbers. So what I always do is I do 3, 2, 1. And if there's more, then I can do 4, 5, 6, but usually there's no more than 3. So I'll look and see what variables I have. And then I start assigning them numbers. So I have Z and Y. So I'm going to start with 3 and start with Z. So I'm going to do 3 store Z. And then I'm also going to do 2 store Y. And so the little arrow comes out as a store on the calculator. Looks like that. So we're going to do number 1 together. And what I want you to do on these problems and also on your assignment is make sure you write everything down that I'm writing down. And then on the assignment, make sure you write things down as well, because I'll count them wrong, because I'll just think that you copied somebody's answers. So make sure you write it down. So we're going to do 3 and then push the store button, and it comes out as an arrow. And we're going to do Z. So since Z is a letter in the alphabet, we're going to do alpha and look for the green that has a Z, and it's on number 2. So you should have this in your calculator, 3 store Z. The store button, which is right here. It's right above the on. And then do 2 store Y. 2 store Y. And so that executes it. Now I'm going to put this in the calculator exactly like it appears. and I'm going to write what my answer comes out. Because what our calculator is going to do is it's going to plug in the z and the y for 3 and 2, and it'll come out an actual number. Okay, I'm going to do alpha y equals for the fraction. Put it in exactly like it appears. So parentheses, 6, and then a z. Make sure you choose z and not 2. Don't put 62 there. That is a z squared. See the difference between a z and a 2? There's a little bit of a difference, not much, but that has more of a curved top. This has a straight top. And then y raised to the negative 3. In order to put a parentheses, I have to arrow to the right. This is where a lot of people made a mistake last period. Instead of putting a parentheses like that, see how that's up top? I don't want to do that. So I'm going to hit delete. Arrow to the right to bring it down to the right level. Then close your parentheses, and then hit squared. Then go to the denominator. 2, make sure you put in a z. You can even put times z if you want, squared y. You don't have to put the times there. I just did so that people didn't think I put a 22, because it's not 22. It's 2 times z. You should be putting this in your calculator right now. Put it in. You should get the same answer as I do. If you don't, then I'll come around and help you. I'm going to write that number down. And then you're going to put in the answer choices and see which one comes out with 1.265625. Okay, so whenever you put in your answers, you'll write down your numbers here, your solutions that you get. So I'm going to put in the first one. So it gave me a fraction. So what I can do is I can go to math, and instead of fraction, I can go down to decimal. Change it to a decimal. So this is 0.0104. So that's not the answer. Okay, the next one, 3 z squared y to the 5th. 864, that's not it. And then the next one, 18 z squared y to the 5th. Oh, that gave me another fraction. So go to math, decimal, enter, 5.0625. So that's not it. So it has to be D, but we got to make sure. 18 z squared over y to the 7th. It's another fraction. So you go math, number 2, decimal, enter, and that's it. So it doesn't give you what to store for your variables. So that's why I tell you I'll use 3, 2, 1. Assign the first variable 3, the second variable 2, the third variable 1, and if there's another one, do 4. But, yeah, if you wanted to do that. Yeah. So on this one, you don't have a set number that you have to put in for your variables, but you just got to pay attention to what your variables are, what the letters are, and assign them a variable, and then see which one comes out with the same amount. Number 2 is called function notation. says given the function p of x equals negative 2x squared plus 3x minus 4, what is the value of p of negative 4? So see how this says p of x, but here it says p of negative 4? I'm going to put p of x over the top of that. So p of that number means that x is negative 4. So I'm going to put negative 4 in for x. So you could substitute it in, or you could use the store function like I taught you for exponents. So we're going to do negative 4 store x. And x is actually easier to find than any other variable. It's right here. So once you store it, make sure you write down what you're storing for x. Then we're going to put in this equation, and our calculator is going to sub in negative 4 for x. So all we have to do is this, negative 2x squared plus 3x minus 4. Press enter. And out comes our solution. There's no answer choices on this. So it's just p of negative 4 is negative 48. What we could have done instead is this. See what I'm doing on the second line? All I'm doing is putting in a negative 4 for x. But what we did is we said x was negative 4 and we just wrote the equation and we came up with the same answer. So essentially our calculator is doing this for us. All right, you're going to go ahead and glue this in. Keep it out as you work through the 9 problems that are on that assignment.